Whew. Howdy and aloha, everybody. This is James with Monotalk. I don't know if you guys are coming from Eben. He just had a little gig going on, or if he still does. Have fun. I'm just going to go on. I'm just going to go on. Whew. Yeah, just did a little walk, jog. Anyway, thanks. If you're going to be showing up, thank you for coming on. Monotalk is where people, mostly true, I believe, progressives, if you want to put a label on it, and critical thinkers, analytical people, and those that are kind of seeing what's going on with things around them, in their village, uh, in their county, in their state, and of course in the nation, a little bit differently than what the mainstream media is throwing at you. I'm talking about CNN, MSNBC, Fox, etc. We do watch a lot of independent news out there, a lot of it coming from BuzzFeed, NewsBud, We Are Change, uh, people like Tim Black, Jimmy Dore, for sure, Jimmy Dore. Also, others like Sane Progressive, Zune Politicons, Holly Seeliger, Jamarl Thomas, Political Soapbox. And we get some stuff every once in a while from H.A. Goodman. And a few others out there. We kind of put pieces together and kind of formulate our own perspectives and opinions, discussed between people across the country and in other countries, uh, internationally. So somebody in Florida might have a different perspective than somebody in Ohio or somebody in Oregon or Washington, Seattle, or in California, like me, coming out of Anaheim, California. Um, you know, SoCal. So things change and it gets different everywhere. Excuse me. The conversation as it moves gets a little different from everybody. And then we also have people in the galley, I call it. Already we have Nash and Lucas. Lucas, what's up, brother? Good to see you. And a few others that come on in the live chat. And it's good to have those people there. And by the way, when it comes to coming on the show, if you get crazy or weird or nuts or like a few people that have been on and other shows that are similar to ours, like uh, Independent Outsider with Dave, Stevie Redden Economics, which she's still working on her media sources and stuff. Um, and of course, Eben Kim, who helped put a lot of this together for all of us. Uh, we basically just do what we can to bring our perspectives to what you guys have. And it's a great place to come and rant, discuss, debate. That's what I first started doing. Was I just released. Next thing you know, I sleep better at night and it feels like I'm doing something important. And speaking of that, my job basically here, and the reason why I've been doing this for months and months now is because my core goal is to try to get people to understand, that there are so many and many thousands and millions of others that really want this country, this planet to be saved. Yeah, it's a broad stroke, but we do. We want it to be saved in many different ways, which will affect the inhabitants, and that's our other goal is to make sure all of its inhabitants are better taken care of. So if we can take care of the planet first, in a totally different direction, because we are at the precipice of where we should be. We've been going down a really shameful road in this country. It's been really embarrassing, especially with the two-party oligarchy, or the Dumbocrats and the Republicans, I call them, the supposed leaders, not the voting republic. You guys are just uh, pawns in a sense, kind of like me. We all are, to the media that's given us all this information out there that's directs us to what we believe, what they believe they want us to do and think and feel. And they put fear and shock and awe and all this other shit in our brains. Especially stuff recently like Russiagate, Russia. which keeps coming around. So what was interesting is speaking of that, and welcome, come on on. And we got some wrenches, people that are watching the live chat, and I'll be watching it along with others that come onto the show. So please try to be civil, and no drama. Please, no drama. This is not a place for drama. If you want to get dramatic about political things and nothing about your personal life, just don't get too personal here. We just don't need that. In any case, I was watching something I thought was really important, and I'm going to bring it up here. Of course, my fave, Jimmy Dore, right? And I'm just going to play this part. Hopefully, you guys can hear it.
He released the memo? I don't think there's any more to this video from the Examiner. Let me see. Trump officially declassified the memo completely unredacted. Okay.
Well, Jimmy, I think now might be a good time to point out too the other kind of the other effect here by them omitting that information of who this was from and the motivation of the person it was from is that at some point in this they also just double dipped on evidence by using an article from Yahoo. I'll read this directly from the document itself.
So this is important, and this is something that I'm surprised Fox has not bought or bit into with a big bite. And other independent sources out there, a part of this, the Nunez memo and the FISA court. And it's kind of hard to follow, but we'll have some people on later that can kind of simplify it. But this kind of, if you can get to what they're kind of getting through here, or trying to convey to you to help you understand it, it makes I think it's huge. I think it's a very important part.
Let me just, before you do, this is also a very key point, and I forgot to mention this. Thank God you remembered to bring this up. This is a very key point. Go ahead, Ron.
All right, so the Carter Page FISA, this is from the document itself. The Carter Page FISA application also cited extensively a September 23rd, 2016 Yahoo News article by Michael Eisenhoff, which focuses which focuses on Page's July 2016 trip to Moscow. This article does not corroborate the Steele dossier, because they're saying, well, this corroborates the dossier. Well, here's the thing. Who provided the information for this?
Yes.
Because it is derived from information leaked by Steele himself to Yahoo News.
So let me just tell you what happened. So what Ron just read to you is exactly what Dick Cheney did with Judith Miller and the New York Times with the aluminum tubes, right? So if you don't know that story, I'll tell you very briefly. Dick Cheney would tell Judith Miller, who worked for the New York Times, that all this highly classified information about Saddam Hussein having these aluminum tubes that could produce weapons of mass destruction. It was all bullshit. But then Judith Miller would print it on the front page of the New York Times, and then Dick Cheney would go on Meet the Press and say, even the New York Times confirms this. So now they did the same thing here. Steele puts together this dossier, then leaks it to Michael Isikoff. He prints it in Yahoo News. The FBI then uses the Yahoo News report as corroborating evidence for the dossier, which is thank God you remember.
Work that way.
That's not how that works. So that's the same bullshit that Dick Cheney did with the New York Times and Judith Miller to get us into a war, and now the FBI is doing the same thing to try to get a FISA warrant on Trump. So and think about that. They've had this warrant for a long time, and nothing yet. So people keep saying, wait for the investigation. We're waiting. Our prediction was always that Trump is a corrupt oligarch, just like everybody. Just like everybody. So that's not what. Then remember, that's not the original charge. The original charge was a Manchurian candidate, not that he's corrupt in business. So that's the thing that they've been pushing forever, which people just take as fact now, by the way, that he's a Putin puppet. That's the original charge. So when people are going to start moving the goalposts and saying, see, he's corrupted business, but that's not, everyone always admitted that everyone always agreed that was probably the case. Probably. So that's not what this is about, and don't let people do that. But that's a key part, that the FBI, they were doing exactly what the Dick Cheney did to get us into the Iraq War.
Okay, so that's it. That's what it is so amazingly sad. But if you sift through it, and as they are, and so many are, so he's not the only person that's doing that. There's others that are sifting through this information to find out basically what's really going on out there, and it's really sad. I'm just seeing stuff that's being displayed by so many independent news stations that are not part of the mainstream presentation. They're not going to. You will not see that piece. This is important too, and I'm going to get to this. This really gets me into. I don't even know if I can find it, but I don't know if you guys watch Saturday Night Live, but you've got to watch Saturday Night Live, and Saturday Night Live is funny. Give me a second. There's many different skits on Saturday Night Live, but they are pro DNC, they are pro Comcast, they are pro Hillary Clinton mafia. SNL, Saturday Night Live, has become, in my professional opinion, oh man, terribly corrupted by, they're just told what to write about, what to talk about, what to convey. They sadly, and I think here it is right here. Okay, so if you watch this should piss people off, because Saturday Night Live is viewed by millions and millions of people, probably more than Rachel Maddow, probably more than CNN, Don Lemon or Anderson Cooper or whoever else has their segments and their little fucking dog and pony shows. But when you watch this, SNL, Saturday Night Live, and somebody needs to go. I'm like the only person really paying attention to SNL, and it seems as though they continue to add on to the hyperbole. They continue to add on to the bullshit that MSNBC will, put out there, and they'll prop it up. But then SNL will come by and massage it, and make it, and dress it up, But if it's something that's important for you to know, they'll tell you otherwise, and try to get this.
Memo came from 40-year-old virgin Devin Nunes, who is chairman of the House.
See, they're just making like this guy's a fucking piece of shit nobody right off the bat, right? Which he's not. He's a
Intelligence Committee. I gotta say, I don't really trust this guy to untangle a vast conspiracy. I wouldn't really trust him to untangle a pair of headphones. Now, I'm trying to put myself in his shoes, and it's pretty easy because his shoes are Velcro. But I don't really understand how any of this is important, so I'm just going to treat this memo like every other memo I've received at work and completely ignore it.
Okay, did you get that? Did you get that? Please tell me you guys are getting. I know you're getting it because I just threw it at you, and I didn't throw a curveball. I didn't. I mean, blatantly. Oh shit! Let me do it again. You heard it, but you didn't see it. All right, sorry, my bad. Just a second, sorry. Hang on. Let me go back and fix this. Okay, so.
39 pounds.
Oh, crap.
This memo came from 40-year-old virgin Devin Nunes, who is chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. I gotta say, I don't really trust this guy to untangle a vast conspiracy. I wouldn't really trust him to untangle a pair of headphones. Now, I'm trying to put myself in his shoes, and it's pretty easy because his shoes are Velcro. But I don't really understand how any of this is important, so I'm just going to treat this memo like every other memo I've received at work and completely ignore it. At this point, if you actually want to get my attention, the bar is set at porn star spanks president with magazine. Also, this is a 4-page memo that just...
So, they direct you somewhere else. Did you notice that? Immediately he's telling you this pawn, and it's not his fault, it's not their fault. They don't know. They're just doing what they're told to say and write. The writers on this show obviously have been paid off, or I mean, there's no conspiracy there. I just don't think there's a conspiracy there for him to treat a document that is so vital to proving that it's all hyperbole and propaganda in regards to Russiagate. And this actually very much indicates that is so, that is what is really happening. And they've had the wrong people investigating it, and they've gone after, and I hate fucking saying this because I seem like I have to say it to protect myself, right? Because I don't want people to think I'm a Trump person. I'm not a Trump person, but I am a person at all. I don't fuck. Trump's an ass. He's shit. He's crap. He's just some fucking real estate salesperson slash reality star that was chosen because nobody wanted the same 6 and 7 crap. What's two-party? Criminal. Hillary Clinton. They just didn't want that anymore. So the Republicans definitely went with this guy who's saying that, oh, he's not going to be like any of them. He's going to drain the swamp, which he never did, and all this shit. But he's a Republican, so once a Republican, always a Republican, and that's sad. And that party's just fucked up as shit. And I do not support them. I do not support 99.8% of what they portray and want to do. Any of them on the Hill. I'm about 70% not supporting anything that the Democrats do. So it's sad that I have to fucking say that, but I got to say that just so people don't go, oh, you're a fucking Russia guy, man. What, Jim, are you hooking up with the Kremlin too? Oh, fuck. It's just, but you see what he's done. It's just, and I see this crap all the time.
Cherry picks information from a FISA document. At this point, if you actually
now
want to
saying
get
it's
my
cherry
attention,
picked.
the bar is set at porn star spanks president with magazine. Also, this is a
You see, that was the distraction to get you to fucking get your mind off of what they're saying is a stupid fucking document. Just don't even pay attention to it. It's stupid. From some guy who fucking pees his pants or whatever. God, it's just
page memo that just cherry picks information from a FISA document that's like 50 or 60 pages long. It's like when you see a blur.
It's a FISA document that's 50 or 60 pages long. You know what that means, right? If it's a document that's 50 or 60 pages long. You know what that means? That you shouldn't pay attention to it. It means that it's too many pages. There's too much. How is that making sense? But they convey it so that it does make sense. They convey it to where they want you to. They want their viewing public, which is the voting republic, by the way, and all these people that succumb to mainstream media. They want you to think in this direction. They are directing you in that direction. They're insinuating. They're inferring. Throwing out laid claims. They're casting it. They're putting a totally different spin on it. They're doing everything they can to get you not to take that memo seriously, and the information from a 50 or 60 page book or whatever fucking it came from. Yeah, Eric, exactly. MSNBC is the propaganda to culture. He says that all the time, and I totally agree. It is. It's terrible. No, and Fox does the same thing, guys. Even Al Jazeera does it. The BBC does it. Nobody's fucking telling any of you the truth 100%. And when they are getting close to the truth, they spin it to their narrative, to their talking point, to whatever's going to help their donors, whatever's going to help the people that even pay for their advertising. They're going to do whatever they can to make it beneficial financially for them. It has nothing to do with you. Excuse me. It has a lot to do with you, but you're not of any importance. They just fucking manipulate you all fucking day long. And I see it happen to family members. I see it happen to work members. I hear it at work, what these people say and how they talk. I'm just like, I can't. I just go, I just want to tell them, I'd like to say, well, you're fucking wrong. What you're conveying to whoever you're talking to about the stuff you're seeing on CNN is ass backwards. I want to just say that, but then they say, well, it's CNN, especially when you talk to somebody in Fox, a Fox person. They're fair and balanced. Oh my God! In the past, people. This is Jenny Lynn. Dang it! Hold on, Jenny. Jenny Lynn. In the past, people could laugh because the jokes would reflect a common perspective. No one but the propagandists think this way. It looks forced because it is. Very well done, Jenny Lynn. Very well done. Because it is. Thank you. That's perfect. It is forced. It is totally and absolutely pounded into you. And SNL's been doing this for far too long. And I've said this to you guys before. George Carlin would be ashamed of these people that are probably not the actors, but the writers. Because he knows the writers. He knows that the writers are bought. The writers are being controlled. He knows that. He would know. If George Carlin came back, popped up out of his grave like the Walking Dead, hey guys, what's going on? You all are a bunch of idiots. You guys are full of shit. And you're putting out a bunch of bullshit, and making people stupid. You're just misinforming people, and you're being manipulative, and you're forcing it. You're forcing that information upon people. As a go from Robert Pookie Ray. Bigger than a Dr. Seuss book should go back to that book place. The library thingy. Yeah, okay. Writers are financially terrorized who write that way too. That's kind of like Bernie was in 2016 when he just fucking folded in July of 2016 at the convention. Was he terrorized? Was he? Probably. I think something happened that was so intense and detrimental to him in some way that they said, hey, this is Hillary. Hey, Bernie, you know what I'm saying? You do this, I got to do this to you. You know what I'm saying? Or you can take the cabin for $400,000. I'll get that for you, no problem. Just take the better road. That's all I'm saying. This fucking mafia that's out there, the DNC, is just a fucking mafia. NAFTA was the biggest mafia deal ever in the history of mafia deals. Overturning Glass-Steagall. If anybody knows anything about Glass-Steagall, that's one of the major reasons why 2008 happened. That's from fucking Clinton, a Democrat. Glass-Steagall, and then the Dodd-Frank shit was bullshit. That was just to try to save face. What the Democratic Party always does. They do something just to make it appear like they're appeasing you, like they're taking care of you, like they're doing something for you. But they're not. The great thing about the Republican Party is they show you the knife they're going to fucking stab you with, and they just fucking start doing it. The DNC, they don't show you the knife. They go, hey, bro, what's up? Kick, behind your back. These fuckers. But they're two in the same. It's a two-party oligarchy. They're huge. They're monstrous. They're gigantic. I'm going to open up pretty soon. And they are doing some things that are just shameful, embarrassing, horrific, terrifying. It's not amazing, Jamal Thomas. Nothing of this is amazing. You know, it's horrific. It's heinous. It's completely unacceptable. It should be fully and absolute. Why are my fucking glasses so goddamn crooked? Anyway, maybe my head's crooked. That's what all of us are. Okay, so what I'm saying is both of these parties, bottom line, don't really give a shit about you. They don't. It's a big club and you're not in it. George Carlin said that. You know, if I were to say there is a God out there, I would call him George and his last name would be Carlin. George Carlin. They don't care about you. They don't. Watch some of his shows. Watch some of his stand-up. His last stand-ups that he had were pretty intense. And he was going after the big players. He was going after the two-party oligarchy. He wasn't going after just the Republicans. He wasn't going after just the Democrats. He was trying to tell you that it's a far, far bigger fucking club. And you're not in it. So with that being said, we need a new club. We need our own club. What are we going to do? I've always said, and this is me because I'm a registered Green, is we have to bring up a viable new party. The People's Party, that'll take fucking forever. You know, Bernie Kratz, or if you want to go with the Libertarian Party, you know, Gary Johnson, which could easily get bought out by the DNC, just like the fucking by the GOP, just like the Tea Party did. Okay, they got co-opted for sure. And then here you come the Justice Democrats. It's like the new Tea Party of the left side, and they're already co-opted. I don't care what you say; they're already co-opted. If you're running as a Justice Democrat, remember the word Democrat is still attached to that. So our only viable source besides a pitchfork and tiki torch revolution, you know, going up on the hill, you know, and eventually finding ourselves in a bunch of FEMA camps all over the country, you know, being treated like Japanese during Pearl Harbor, but I don't want to get into all that fucking nasty bullshit, is a third party. And the third party that I think would be important to have or to bring up, since they are in a lot of states, I think 23 or somewhere over 20, and they have a lot of people that are already in offices at the city and state levels. There are some people running for Congress now that somebody's going to be on my show. Coming up on the 22nd is Angelica Duenas also. And then, by the way, just to let you know, by the way, I have somebody running for governor. Another person, excuse me, not governor. Josh Jones is running for governor, along with Veronica Fembres and Chris Carlson also running on the Green Party. All three of them going for it, and just them all going for it. They're gonna get attracted. They're gonna get attention. I think that's great. But somebody that I met yesterday at a Green County party for the county of Orange, which the Orange County has, I don't know, like 8 million people. Just a god-awful amount of people, or 7 million, or I don't know. There's a lot of fucking people here. I'm surrounded by people everywhere. Anyway, and these are some really wonderful and great, just dynamic people, and they're geniuses. I mean, I'm watching this unfold in front of me, and the questions they have, and everything. But anyway, let me get to it. A gentleman that's running, and I wish I should have taped what he was conveying to Orange County Dems, which sadly there were only about 12 of us there at this monthly meeting, which I'm going to help fix, which I'm going to do my best to get our message out. Okay, but we have to have a stern, direct, and smart message. So it's Mike Feinstein. No relation to Dianne Feinstein. Just letting you know. As far as I know, I don't know if it's down the line in lineage, but no relation. Brilliant man, going for it. And I think, Eric Rydberg also is, who is one of the spokespersons, also going for Secretary of State. And the more we have going for those positions, I think it's good because you're bringing more light. And then when you finally get a cohesive backing on one of them, I think it can be very powerful. But this guy was spot on, and he talked about ranked choice voting. He talked about bringing. God, I forgot the name. I don't have the information. It's in my truck. Oh my gosh! But anyway, he's going to be here on the 15th to explain his position and what he's going to be doing. And I can't wait. The guy's amazing. I just want to say he's got some good stuff going on. He is part of the older guard of the Green Party, but he understands what needs to happen. And so does the new guard. So me, Jim, the guy that brings people together, which I'm fucking great at doing because I used to have fucking cake parties when I was like 13, 14 years old in my house. I had fucking huge parties. I bring people together. I know how to have a luau. I know how to have a party. Okay? And I know how to get people to come together cohesively, paddle in the same direction. When you're paddling a canoe in Hawaii, you cannot let the paddle hit the side of the boat. That's taboo. That's bad luck, just to let you know. So everybody's going to paddle properly in the right direction, pulling water at the same time. Okay? Pulling water at the same time. Okay? Okay? Pulling water at the same time. There's a hand change. It's really weird. But anyway, Mike Feinstein's going to be on here. Great guy. And I was at the meeting yesterday. I'm still working on being a committee, a state media committee member. We're still working at that, but there's some other things I have to do, which I will do whatever it takes. Because, like I said, my goal is to save. And there's some great people there. There's some brilliant, smart, great people reaching out. Oh, these are the kind of people you want to surround yourself with. These are the kind of people you want to be around because they fucking care. They care. They're just so involved and they're professional and they're statuesque in a sense and they know how to carry them. And these people really know, the bylaws and all this stuff because some of these people have been with the Green Party for a long time. And I'm new. And I get it. I'm new. But there's a big tidal wave of people that are sick of the two-party oligarchy and they need something to hang on to. They need something to hang on to. And if the Green Party can get in line with the core issues that everybody wants, overturn Citizens United, single payer, stop the stupid fucking wars that keep creating all our friends across the world, and all these other things, fixing our infrastructure, going green, but making it so everybody understands it. Don't change the verbiage too crazy. Don't get too nutty. Just bring it to us as we've always heard it and want it to be. That's it. And then we'll start to pay attention. And we're going to get people in these greens. Guys, I'm sorry. It's the only way to go. I just don't see any other way because you can go protest, right? Oh, lastly, I'm just going to put this up. Okay, it's only been a half hour. I usually do about a half hour. There was something that's happened the other day. No, not the other day, just recently. That I was watching now. I love Jimmy Dore, but sometimes even Jimmy Dore isn't perfect, or maybe we're just not on the same page when it comes to certain information. But he was talking about, my gosh, I lost it already. Let's see if I can find it. Sorry, guys. Sorry, un momento, por favor. I love the community I'm in. These people are wonderful. Mostly Hispanic, but man, they're just wonderful, good, decent people. And I will tell you this, they know how to party. They have wonderful, fantastic parties, and I love the music. I just start drinking beer when I start listening to it. It's awesome. Hold on. Un momento, por favor. Un momento, por favor. All right, so Jimmy talks about the BLM protesters. There it is. Okay.
Rail line carrying Super Bowl ticket holders to the stadium. Whew. In Minneapolis. Isn't that fantastic? Thought they should still go out and make their case. Don't you?
All right, I'm just going to play this and then I'll post the chat. Matter of fact, I'm going to do that now. But anyway, come on in. This is a good place to rant, discuss, have fun, enjoy yourself, talk about things. Sometimes we even talk about, dieting, which I really want to know more about because I'm starting to work out more, and I need the more information I get in here, the better I can do things. And like my grandfather said, if you're not learning something, then you're probably fucking dead. All right, so let's get the information. Let me just post it into the whatchamacallit, and then I'll just start playing this, and I'll do that at the same
Don't you
time.
love activists? God damn. So it
Don't
turns
you
out
just love
17 were
activists?
arrested at a Super Bowl protest in Minneapolis. Isn't that fantastic? In Minneapolis, 17 people were arrested Sunday before the Super Bowl as they attempted to block a light rail line carrying Super Bowl ticket holders to the stadium. Whew.
Oh boy.
People go, why you gotta block people going to the Super Bowl? What did they do? They just want to go see the game. Why you gotta make it inconvenient for them? People say that all the time. Why you gotta block traffic? I gotta get to
shit.
work.
Sorry.
That's how protests work. You're supposed to
Okay, wait.
the Super Bowl. So it turns out 17
play
were
this
arrested
again.
at a Super Bowl protest in Minneapolis. Isn't that fantastic? In Minneapolis, 17 people were arrested Sunday before the Super Bowl as they attempted to block a light rail line carrying Super Bowl ticket holders to the stadium. Whew.
Oh boy.
People go, why you gotta block people going to the Super Bowl? What did they do? They just want to go see the game. Why you gotta make it inconvenient for them? People say that all the time. Why you gotta block traffic? I gotta get to work. That's how protests work. You're supposed to upset things so it makes a big stink and people notice your cause. If you protest quietly in your own apartment, that doesn't really mean it's a protest.
Okay. I get you on that, Jimmy, but I got to tell you something. I got to tell you, my brother. No. Okay. When you have people laying in the freeway, blocking people that are trying to get to their work to support their kids and their children, when you have some kid that's never been to a Super Bowl and wants to go with his grandfather or his dad that just took up his life savings and is taking a train to get to go see the Super Bowl and you want to block it, no. If you're protesting, focus it where it needs to be protested. For example, Verizon with net neutrality, and they didn't do this soon enough. It seems like we do stuff late. When it comes to protesting, we're always a day late and $1 short for some fucking reason. But in regards to net neutrality, they were trying to overturn it, so they sent a bunch of people right before it got shit on to these Verizon locations across the world, and it was organized, and there were a bunch of people, especially in California. There was a bunch of them, and that's where you go. That's where you go to the company that's affecting what's happening to you. Okay, you go to that place. Like for another good example, MLK walks, the million man march, walks his million people up through fucking Congress, because you're protesting Congress, and what they fucking do, this is what I said. There's a legislator, his name was something Renton, and he and Jerry Brown blocked single payer from happening. Right now, I would have fucking awesome health care if it wasn't for, I wouldn't have to pay for it, if it wasn't for this guy Renton, who was a Democrat, who just months or years before was super big. Was super big on, I think I know who that is.
Hello.
Yes, hello. Hi, welcome, caller. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, this is James with Montauk. How may I help you? What's on your mind?
Is that a new Jimmy video that you're playing?
It's like brand new. It's like sick brand. It's like super brand new. But hang on, I wanted to get my point just a second. Just a second. Okay, thank you. Hi, Stevie. Stevie's here from Red Economics. Been on some cool shows out there and doing some good stuff. Also, kind of in the same movement. Thank you for being here. Okay. So my point is, and I think you guys understand this, is if Renton, you should have sat in front of his house, his driveway. Keep that fucker from going to work. Okay? Get like 1,000 people and sit on his street, okay, or just right in front of his driveway, so everybody else can go to work, right? And block that piece of shit, and block Jerry Brown, who also turned the governor of California, who also shit on us, and went turncoat on us on single payer. Why don't you, when you're going after and you're protesting, you want to bring attention to yourself, right? And I understand some will be, disturbed. They'll be inhibited. They'll have to suffer due to getting the message out. I get it. But what I'm trying to say, I was doing that survey. Hang on, guys. I'm almost done. Thank you for being here. Oh, look at baby. There's baby. Hey, how you doing? Okay, so what I'm trying to say is we got to pick and choose our battles a little wisely, a little better. I'm not really pissed off at the Super Bowl thing, but when I see people out on the freeway, man, people are trying to get to work. And it's not very smart. I don't think it's a good idea to go out to and just lay on the freeway, just waiting for some Dodge Charger to run over you, which happens. So,
Well,
okay, I'm
that's
good. Welcome, guys. Go ahead.
that's the thing about protests, and they're out there protesting, but they don't really know who the real enemy is. They don't know who they're still propping up the people that are actually continuing that shit. So,
yeah, I'm just saying, I understand protesting. I think protesting is a
right.
great way to get the message out. But if you do it kind of like in a sniper way, like a sniper will take out the target directly. Okay, whereas a carpet bombing, C-130 will just throw a bunch of that's a big plane that drops a lot of bombs. We'll just, take out a bunch of people and hopefully they'll get to the right person. But if you take out the key person, I'm not saying go fucking kill a legislator or go kill anybody. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying, that's up to you. What I'm saying is that you go after that person that's starting that conundrum, that's fucking up that bill, that's screwing you over, that's the leader of that movement. There's so many times I wanted to go to Daryl Ice's place, or he's in Southern California. He's not too far away from the casino my mom goes to, probably too much during the year. But anyway, to his house and just keep that fucker from coming out. Just lay there. My big Maui looking self, just lay out there and he'll have to use me as like a big speed bump, just to keep that guy from going to work because he's such a shithead. But
I know
go ahead.
down in Oregon, there was that big riot down there where they were blocking people from going to work and everything. I have a girlfriend down there that suffered that day. She lives on just tips alone, and it's not very much, and she could not feed herself at all. She had to give what food that she could buy with the leftover tips from the night before to her children, and she went without food. That's when I just said that type of protesting needs to stop, where it's blocking. I mean, people that need their work daily just to eat. It's not fair to keep them from, because you're not protesting at that point. You're just being an ass. You're doing what you are trying to protest against.
Yeah, very well said.
Well,
Perfect.
I mean, it's kind of like the whole PETA thing. You know how PETA, what's her, Ingrid Newkirk, I think is her name, the president of it or whatever. But I mean, there was nothing too crazy for this woman. I mean, like she would say, I mean, just whatever it was to get attention. She was talking about when she dies, she wants her body to be turned into like a leather suitcase or so, I don't know, just far out, you know, dumping blood on people. I mean, stuff like that. So it's like you're getting attention. You're getting lots of attention, but what kind of attention are you getting? Because the whole thing of getting the attention is to, I would say to get people on your side, to bring people in on your cause, that, you know, big, you know, attention grabber. Hey, you know, we're here. But, you know, that's, you know, when you're making, and it's not just, you know, inconveniencing people, but I mean, when you think about, you know, fire trucks, maybe there's a fire, an ambulance needs to get through, and you know, James, what you were saying about their safety, you know, like laying down in the middle of the road, yeah, that's not good. Like, I don't want to see them get hurt either. So, like, bringing it to them is a great way of doing it, I think.
Yeah, so what I'm saying, exactly. So I understand the protesting is to bring attention to the issue, to what you're trying to convey to the media, the public, or whoever else. But when you're hurting the people that you're actually trying to help, it seems it's like you're stumbling over your own toes, your feet. You know, you're tripping. You're making more of a problem than you are trying to do something.
That's convoluted thinking, I think.
Yeah, that's perfect. It's convoluted, but there's a way, if you find out who the people are that are doing it. Like let's just say in the morning there's a bill that's going to be passed today that nobody fucking wants. Like, let's just say getting rid of free speech forever. I would literally, if that bill was going to come up, I would fucking jump in. I would get a plane ticket, and I would go to fucking DC, and I would get a bunch of people to go in the driveways the night before and camp and get all these people to stop these people from coming out of their houses. They'd have to airlift fucking food to these people. That's what I would do. You see them, to keep them from even getting the chance to get in the doors of the employee entrance of Congress. You know what I mean? Or block that fucking door, right?
Just, we need to give pressure, and we need to reinvent the way we protest, basically. You know, like you say, one thing is to get people's attention. The next thing is the action after the attention. Because a lot of times people are like, okay, it's like the Women's March, or, you know, or certain things that happen. It's like, okay, well, you got all these people's attention. They're all on board to do something, but you don't have any like real common middle ground. Like, okay, hey, if we're against corruption, we have to be against corruption all the way around, you know. So did you see that Jimmy Dore is going to be on Joe Rogan's podcast, and Kyle Kalinske?
When?
This month.
Oh, I am so going to watch that.
Me too.
That's going to be fucking awesome.
That's going to be awesome. Those are two fucking epic people. Jimmy Dore, and you know, and Joe Rogan are epic fuckers. And
you know, that's going to blow Jimmy up.
Huge.
Because like Joe Rogan's one of the biggest podcasts right now.
Oh, huge. It's going to huge. And people are going to go, who the fuck? This guy's fucking awesome. If Jimmy plays his cards right, not too crazy, because a lot of stuff that we say to a lot of people out there that get their information from CNN, MSNBC, Fox, Al Jazeera, BBC, and all these other fucking mainstream outlets out there, look at us real funny, like we're not there, because their information to them, as I was saying earlier, is correct and right and fair and balanced and accurate and totally absolutely truthful. Well, but it's not at all.
No. Well, I think Joe Rogan, you know, he's a good interviewer. I think he's good at having a conversation, and you know, they're going to smoke pot together and vibe out, which is so cool. I mean, I love his show. You know, when there's somebody on there that I want to hear about, and they're both comedians. So.
Oh yeah, I've watched a bunch of fucking Rogan shit. It's funnier now. He's great. You know, that reminds me, back in the day, even before I was probably even considered, they used to have on television. They used to have, and and I know Rebel knows this, is they would have shows where people would be drinking, and they'd be talking about issues and things like that. They're having wine, they're having a martini. It was just very normal to do that. But nobody would ever think of using marijuana. You know,
There was one that was like that. Getting Doug with high or something like that. I think that's the name of the show. But yeah, that's basically what they do. They just come on, they smoke a bunch of weed and talk shit.
I like that.
Back in my day, or
no, before our day, before your day.
Are you kidding? I gotta find that.
No, it's like Dean Martin. Like Dean Martin would go on somebody's show and they would have drinks, and you would see it, and they would have some interviews. You don't remember seeing anything like
Okay, now I am remembering. Yeah.
Okay, well, it wasn't all the time, but
Hey,
like in
it's
certain
been a long
situations, like it wouldn't be like a talk show. It would just be like they're out having fun. It would be showing them like the Rat Pack having cocktails with each other and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they're talking about issues and things that are happening out there, and they get questions. But they're having martinis. You know,
I think I
now
had my
it's Joe
first.
Rogan and Jimmy Dore. They're gonna have a fucking blunt. That's cool.
I think I just had my first real old person memory glitch.
No, there'll be more to come with that, young lady.
Damn.
And Kyle's supposed to be on there too this month, so that's
Yeah.
two progressive like voices. Kyle's not so bad,
Right.
You know, from my, but I don't really watch it too much. I don't.
Yeah, I got a question. There's this guy that was on Eben, and then he was on a show with Dave, I think a couple nights ago or something. What's his name? Paul something or Charles?
Oh yeah, he's the
Paul Chapman.
Paul Chapman. I just want to know how did that go? I haven't heard. I haven't really gotten too much. I've got a little bit of information here and there, but nothing.
Campaign manager for Ronan.
Right.
So basically, for what I took from it, because he had been drinking a little bit weed, is again, it's the same thing. It's like they got the idea, but the polish and putting into formats, social media, all that stuff, they're not there.
They're not there.
So I was trying to like kind of pick his brain a little bit, and he pretty much was like, come on board, help us do it. Like we don't have anybody. So basically, he said when Ronan shares something, they get about 25,000 likes. So they get a lot of traffic. Is they don't have the right type of, again, same thing, visual, the whole campaign thing is not set up right. So I mean, he basically was just like, hey, if you guys want to help, come on.
Are they conveying their message properly? Are they getting it out to the right people, or do they know that?
I don't know. I mean,
no.
You don't think so? Who was there? Who else was there? Anybody here? Cheryl, were you there?
Yeah,
Did you hear?
I was there the whole time.
Oh, was there anything else? Anything? How is this guy, Paul? Is he a cool guy or?
Well, yeah, until he got too drunk, and then he started slurring, and then he started talking over people, and then he started going off in directions that it's like, okay, dude, this was my chance to ask you fucking questions, And
then he's doing one of these.
Well,
was he doing one of those? We've had a lot of people on this show do these.
Yeah, no.
No, he didn't pull us.
I've done that on the show. I've been like, hey guys, let's go.
I was
basically you passed out.
The same spiel, and I want to know how hard somebody's going to go at the corrupt, like how much are you going to focus on those cats, the ones that are actually the people that are doing the policy. And I don't think he understood what I was saying at first, because he was kind of dismissive, because he took what I said wrong. And like the way he processed it, which was kind of a little bit of a red flag to me, and even when I was talking about the media, I'm like, dude, you get 25,000 likes for real every post, and you guys aren't rocking and rolling. You guys don't have any money in the bank. That's 25,000 views, just the people that like it.
Could be a buck of view.
Well, that's what I meant by when I typed in the chat. People are always either the villain or the hero when they're drunk.
Yeah.
You know, it's
People
like,
change when they get buzzed.
yeah, I couldn't
You
trust
guys
them
have seen me
after.
buzzed, right? You guys have seen me buzzed. I'm kind
You're
of goofy. I'm a
Yeah.
dork.
Not buzzed, man. What are you not?
I was like, "Oh, what's up, bro? It's good, man. What's up?"
Yeah, I get a little loose too when
Yeah,
when I try not to drink too much, because when I drink, I'm there's like a at this point, as I'm older, like there's a big shift when I drink. Like my inhibition.
Is it like fire water? For some people, it is like fire water. Like,
No, it just I got no filter anyways, as it is.
Yeah, that's right.
So when I'm drinking it, yeah.
That's me too.
Nice.
Raw.
Cheryl, were you there? Was
You know
Cheryl there? Was Cheryl there? We're talking to this guy.
I think so.
No, I didn't talk to him.
Okay, so here's a question in regards to what's his full name? Paul Chapman. Paul Chapman. So in regards to Paul Chapman and Ronan, are they the A team or are they kind of like the C- team? I mean, on a scale from like you're grading how they're doing in their campaign, would you say they're
Cheryl?
3?
I think they're doing so.
So she's saying a 1 to 10, and she's saying 3. We'll say 3. Stevie, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that they definitely need to work on the utilizing people. I mean, I think he said they had less than $30 or something. So I mean, they don't have money, and if they don't have people, I mean, he said that they don't have people there helping out. So it's just basically him and Sam, and I think he said Sam's girlfriend.
Right.
So I mean, like they really need. I mean, with like Chad was saying, like 25,000 likes, utilize those people. You know, I mean, they obviously are tuning in and checking it out. So, you know, ask them like, hey, you know, share this or, you know, phone bank. I mean, I watched his interviews. And then Paul came on, and it took a while before he even said anything about they need help, they need resources. And there's nothing wrong with asking for that, especially if you're just asking, you know, for phone banking and stuff. You know, like just they need people.
And he's the kind of, you know, he's like your regular kind of guy type thing. So he's real, and that's, you know, that's what Evan, like they're talking about, they liked about him, you know, that he wasn't your pretentious kind of thing. You know, you're real in that, which is cool. And if you're going to do that, you still have to be able to sell. You say sell is not the best word, but you still have to relay or give that. You still have to be sharp in the areas that you need to be to make people think, okay, well, cool, you got the right idea, but how do I know you're going to be able to be on top of it when you get in? If you know, there's certain things in your campaign that you're not even getting set up right.
That's a great point. That is a great point. So when you have a party, and this is my issue with the Green Party, and you know, no party's perfect. Sorry, it doesn't happen in the world. But when you have an opportunity to do so much, and the structure is shaky, the foundation is shaky, there's no cohesiveness, and a few other things that are important to have for any political party. So with them, I mean, and that's what my issues with them, but they're hopefully going to start, you know, mending and fixing these things sooner than later. But when you have somebody that's running and they're, for example, anybody that's running with the DNC, what do we think? We just think they're going to be a fucking criminal, right? So it reflects how they're pushing, how they're moving their candidate along. Does it just like Sir Chad is saying? If these people aren't moving in the right direction, they don't have to be totally perfect. It's okay. We get that. But if they're stumbling on stuff that even I can figure out, then that's very alarming.
Well, I mean, you got 25,000 people viewing your shit, and you don't know how to utilize that. Like, you don't know how to get help. Like, your Ronan's been on like everybody's show. He was the big platform for the DNC thing running like, so he's got a little bit of a name recognition.
He's got a following.
It's
He's
just
got fans. Yeah.
do the Ronanator, the Ronan the Barbarian,
Something.
like do some like cool ass,
Ooh,
like
I
funny
like
ass,
that. Ronan the Barbarian.
put his face in there, funny shit where he's like, kicking these, Elizabeth Warren's ass or whoever he's fighting, who he's going against.
Right.
Like that's what I want to see. I don't know. That's why I guess expect, especially because he's young, like he should be able to really, capture, the young audience. Because, it's, for the most part, he's saying the right things from what I can tell.
I agree with you.
And I'd like to see more of that. That's one of the biggest problems that we're having right now with politicians is that they're not communicating and talking with us about the issues or what they need or what needs to be done. If there's a problem that he comes up against, like right now where they don't have people volunteering, it's like, go to the people, tell them the issue. Like that's their whole job. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. Like, go out there, talk to people, get them motivated and willing to fight for stuff.
You're a leader. Like, lead. Like get us all. And that's the thing. He gets on all these shows. He's been on Tim Black. He's been on these. So it's just mobilizing. So I don't know if you guys are interested in actually, taking over, kind of his social media or whatnot. Because he was really adamant about it. I know he had been drinking and stuff like that, but it'd be a good opportunity possibly if we could come up with some sort of campaign to, work out some kinks.
Give them a few ideas. Well, do they have funding?
No.
No. Okay.
The funding. That's the whole point. Is they've got the traffic. If we give them the right stuff,
turn that into dollars. Turn that into dollars.
But that's what you need. If you have the traffic, then you should. And that's what these media people are, like the online platforms. You're an influencer if you got likes and followers and stuff like that. That's awesome. That's perfect. That's what you need. And if you got those, you just have to turn those into dollars by, again, your content, how you're putting the information out there.
But by what he said, it seemed like that they were like out of money to even practically eat.
Okay, that's not good. Yeah. When it comes to campaigning for any position, if you're not able to have the number one resource to do the things that you need to do to get in front of people, and that's money, then you're dead in the water. You're just totally dead in the water. So I don't know what they're going to do or how they're going to do it, but the Green Party's kind of having the same problem. They're not advertising that they, like, for example, on the California website, they're saying donate now. When I know right now, no, not tomorrow, now, and then on the DNC website it says contribute, and then it says, but it's the placement of it as well. So, and then you should have a message, and they should have their message on what they're providing, which I'm trying to convey to the Green Party, is what is your message? If I'm going to provide a service for you, I need to list it on a estimate. What am I going to do? I'm going to come in. I'm going to clean your pipes. No, I'm going to come in. I'm going to be a floor guy, just so we don't go in that direction. I'm going to come in. I'm going to strip up the old floor. I'm going to take it to the dump. I'm going to put in the new Spanish 16-inch diagonal tiles. Okay, that are really nice looking, that you picked out, and I'm going to put those in for you. But that's all in an estimate, and then I'm going to charge you. See, what the Green Party isn't doing, which I think, and what maybe they should do, if this is an idea for you, Ronan, and anybody out there, is is list what you're going to do and then put a donate button. If you want to see this happen, I need money to do it. You know what I'm saying? If you want single payer, I need money to fucking fight for you. If you want infrastructure spending, I need money to fight for you. If I want to overturn Citizens United, I'm going to need some money to fight for you. Okay, because I need a hotel, I need to get a place to stay, I need to have spending money, I need to get people in my group to. All right, I need to get people to go out grassroots and knock on doors. I need a phone bank. I need a lot of this stuff. I need you to, this is what it's going to take. So you have to. I think what would be good for Ronan was the same thing that I'd like to do for the Green Parties. They just need to list what they're going to do and put a donate button. Is that silly? Or put all of those things or just the core things that you're going to be providing in a donate button. But make sure the donate or the contribute button is right there. Not like, how it's always up in the top right, or like all these other websites, the donate button's like right there. One of the first things you see. On the Green Party website, it's like way over here in the California Greens. So like we're down over here.
Mm-hmm.
Donate now. Donate now. Anyway, there's a lot of things that they're going to do. But if you are providing a service for somebody, what you should do is you should list what you're providing. I'm not saying I would condense that as I'm putting in 16-inch. I'm putting in Spanish tiles for you. Donate. You know what I'm saying?
And maybe get in a more pleasing color of green and less green on their site so that.
Yeah, that's true. I fully and totally get that.
It's so aggravating when I have to look at all that puke green.
Yeah. Green is a good color, but it needs to be different. By the way, it's something else that also just kind of came to my mind that I kind of went off track on in regards to running as a Republican. The only biggest overhanging fear with that is, let's just say he does get a lot of pull. Let's just say he starts to get a following and he starts to get influence, and he's not influence, and he starts to get a big following of people, and the RNC notices it. If you are big enough to where you are being seen as a force to be somewhat reckoned with, this is going to happen in the DNC in the DCC, the DNC as well. Is they'll pull you aside and they'll throw their offers at you. They'll pull you aside and go in my direction. It looks like you're doing a great job and you're starting to get quite a pull out there. If you're going to go any further, we'd like you to start to recommend these things as well. And by the way, I have a Cayman Island account that's in your name. I'm just saying. I can't say that doesn't happen. But there's, at some point, once you get big enough and once you get popular enough and once you get high enough, the system we have now, they start offering you dough. Somebody's gonna offer you money if you've got a big pull. If you've got that's could be an underlining issue that maybe we should also keep thinking about as far as running with the Republican Party. Does that make sense? He might get tugged in, or what do you? Do you think that would happen? I just think that could possibly happen for sure. Yeah.
Well, the DCCC already doing that now.
Yeah, it's happened. It's been happening. That's just normal. It seems like I think that's just pretty much normal. Anyway, once you get to a certain point to where you're big enough and they see that you're becoming an influence, they'll start doing things and coming to you from angles that just it's an assumption, it's a theory, but I think it's pretty well known that somebody's, watch House of Cards. It fucking happens in every episode. There must be a reason why it happens in every episode, right? They come to you like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You do a little of this, we do a little of that for you. You do a little of this, we'll do a little of that for you. That's my concern with being in the Republican Party. they'll just blatantly just walk up to them, you know, at Disneyland and say, "You need to start doing what we do. We're going to pay you some money." Blah 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 blah. So, and it just happens in both parties, like Cheryl said.
Mm-hmm.
Underlining issue that I have running for that party or any
Yeah,
party.
because the DCCC tell them people, the progressives, oh, you're going to have to start paying our consultants if you want us to support you. They gave them other demands too.
Ah,
It's crazy.
that is so fucking ass backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very bad. Oh, somebody, Ryan said, "Hey, a guy named Dominic was here earlier. Does anybody know who that is?" I thought it was
He was
Jake.
new.
He was new. He was here
Because
for a
I'm
while.
like, damn, Dominic looks rather younger now.
Yeah, Dominic went to the time. Dominic spent a little time in the hot tub time machine. Came back.
I
And look what
was
happened.
sitting there going, okay, just don't say hi to him yet because I was kept on looking at him trying to say, okay, that's not Dom.
No.
And I didn't want to say hi,
But he
Dom.
came on. He was here for a little while. I actually put in chat. Sorry he didn't get on. But, you know, when you come on, I don't expect people to say, "Oh, hey, everybody stop. Let's say hi to this person. Where are you from and who you're about?" No. This is a conversation where you just come in and just kind of kick back and just jump in when you can. Introduce yourself when you can. We already know your fucking name's up there. If you don't have a name, I'll put it up for you. What's up,
Hey,
Brian?
Ryan.
What's up, Brian? What's up?
Yo, what's up? From
What's
the other
up, my
side of the
brother?
world, outside, my homies.
Oh, look at that. He's got a spirit thing.
A dream catcher.
A dream catcher. Then how do you dream if you're catching all of them? Do you keep them in there?
That's supposed to catch
where
all
all
the
my
bad
dreams
dreams.
Oh, it keeps all the bad
it's supposed
dreams?
Yeah.
Supposed to have a hole
And
in the
let
middle.
see the stones that are in that represents the bad dreams, and then the holes represent where the good dreams go through and go into your head.
Huh. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
What do you think about that, Snark? Do you think there's any... I'm asking the wrong person. But what's interesting is that there could be some kind of... Okay, a friend of mine had a book a while back about studying dreams. And he used to say he would bring it and tell us what's going to happen, or the reason why you're dreaming that is this is going to happen to you. And I'm like, dude, it's like a fucking horoscope. What do you... It's not making any sense. Because the stuff
It's
you told
more
me last week didn't
symbolic.
happen to me this week.
It's more symbolic. It's not like we.
Okay. Then I
Yeah.
can understand that. What do you think of the dream catchers there, Snort?
Unless you squeeze them. Large pieces of quartz, if you squeeze them, they can give off a huge electric shock.
Mm-hmm.
If they create a static field behind your ear, it will put you into a lucid dream state, possibly. I think that research is kind of iffy, and I can't remember where to cite it.
There's energy and
what? So you're saying that if you squeeze a quartz,
rapid changes in magnet and static electricity behind your ears can excite the brain and trigger strange things to happen.
And during the day, it can give you tons of energy if you.
Yeah, like 75, 100,000 volts, very little amperage.
what if there is a connection between, and we just don't understand it? What if there's a lot of connections that are out there? Like when you, I like the show Ancient Aliens. Sometimes it gets a little heavy.
But it's not an alien type thing. It's actual chemistry. It's science.
Yeah, it's
well,
go ahead.
But for piezo to work, you have to be in contact with it and you have to squeeze it.
Okay. Go ahead, Ryan.
Oh, nothing. No.
Oh, okay. Your mic was on.
I was.
Stevie, are you still there? I haven't heard from you. Am I babbling too much?
No, I'm just listening.
Okay. So what if there is a connection? Now we're going in a different direction. But honestly, in regards to running in the United States, it's so fucking messed up. It's just so bad for anybody. I don't care who you are. It's just like they're making it harder for decent people. And see, decent is from a perspective, because you can be totally on the right, super Christian, want to build a wall, white people are the way the world works, and you can say that's a decent person. So this is a matter of perspective. But what I'm saying is grounded moral ethics, like world ethics. When I say world morals, I mean deep world morals, like village, like ancient, native Hawaiian
Tribalism.
Just their deep core issues that are important. That's what I'm saying. So it's all a matter of perspective. Oh, independent, what's up? What's up? All right, I have to go use the thing. I'll be back in a minute. Hey, Andy, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, I was just going to respond to they're making it hard for us. Of course, they're going to make it hard for us. The people in power have had their shit together for decades, and we have to pull ourselves up by our informational bootstraps and learn how to fight their system, and not complain to them and not turn to them and ask for help. That is that is what kind of triggers me all the time when we're complaining that we're not getting help from the very system that's pulling us down. We have to call out the people and say, "Hey, you're not doing your job." Not, "Hey, we need this, we need that." We're going to have to fight for every single right that we should already have, including the rights of people that are more in trouble than we are, that's affected. The homeless, the severely mentally ill people, people who really don't have any way to fight at all. I mean, I at least have this. Some people don't have this.
So
I think we need to seriously change the way we say this. Instead of say fight for our rights, we need to take more of a Malcolm X approach. Take back our rights. Take them back.
From a specific person.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody is here. Nobody can give you your rights. You have to take them.
Yeah, so what he's saying is go after that person. So what I was saying earlier is don't let that fucking guy go vote. Go camp out in his driveway. I don't see what's so nuts about that. That makes great sense. Why let the guy that's going to screw you on some bill go to work and vote on that bill? Make it hard for them to get. Just camp. It's a public sidewalk, or maybe right out of his gated community. It could be a public area, and protest right there. Keep that guy from going in for that day. I don't get why we don't focus on those things. Like Comcast went out to Verizon. People that were for net neutrality went out to the Verizon location, and they kept business from coming in. They protested. They passed out flyers. Most people didn't even realize what was happening. Not. By the way, everybody, we are more informed about stuff than 80 to 90% of the people in this country.
Which scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, fuck, exactly.
Well, it's more processing. The information. I think everybody kind of has something together. They tend to have. They just don't know how to read it and how to be able to understand the pulse of something. When there's a lot of there's a lot of narratives going on. A lot of people deal with things differently and they see things differently. And to find the heart of something is there a way to teach someone how to read that?
it's almost a cliche at this point, but 2016 was the watershed moment, because there are a lot of people that are realizing that politicians are not only not helping you, they're voting against the very things that you want. They're doing their anti-job. they're actually doing the exact opposite of what they're supposed to be doing, and they have for a very long time. And I consider myself mildly politically intelligent, and I had been duped for decades. And it takes something to yank you out of that. And I've just started to see. And if
2016 did it for me.
I think 2018 did it for me when the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl. Something must be wrong.
No, how to the no.
They cheated. They cheated.
Hell to the no. No, they didn't cheat. The Patriots known for cheating.
Yeah, hell yeah.
We deserved it. It's been like over 50-something years. Some people had died waiting to see this day.
58 years. They had some 99-year-old veteran dude like up in the stands. They had to like prop him up. They're like, yeah, he was a fan when they first started in 1930. I'm like, leave the old man alone, for God's sake.
Someone in Philadelphia reached 99 years of age and they get shot dead.
Was there any crazy shit going on last night, Cheryl? Any riots or any nonsense? Or did people act like they had good sense?
You didn't see the news?
Yeah, they
The couches on fire.
Oh, okay. Well, I had predicted it. I mean, I didn't see it, honestly.
What was on fire?
It was horrible.
Couches?
I was asking if there's any couches on fire.
Oh, I thought you said there were.
Oh,
people
no,
getting
everybody. I don't know why it was going around the World Wide Web. We were rioting here, which we weren't. Only thing, you had a couple of knuckleheads taking down traffic signs, climbing up on them, and on the canopy of the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, and took that down, and they got injured. 3 people got arrested.
Of course, they should. And I thought they were like greasing all the friggin' light poles so that shit wouldn't happen.
That shit did not work. That didn't work at all. And then RT sent me an alert on my phone talking about there's an explosion in Philadelphia. I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? Because I'm sitting there celebrating. I'm in my house and I'm watching the news, and they in different areas in the city, they were doing fireworks. They were setting off fireworks.
You know what? That's a good way to phrase how the media manipulates what's going on. Fireworks into an explosion.
And people and a lot of the people was line dancing. Thousands of people, they was all in motion line dancing. So it was more the decent people. You just had a few knuckleheads. But the commissioner, he got hit in the head with a bottle. He said he will catch some idiots because they got him on camera.
Oh, that pisses me off because here I was thinking, how awful, something that was just, that is so fucking, I should have learned.
From time to time, it does happen. I mean, when I was in Chicago, I lived in Chicago during the Bulls three-peat. And by the time the three-peat happened, I was rooting against them because I didn't want my windows broken. The first one was fine. The second one, people acted like idiots. And then the third one, the cops were out in full force. So, I'll have to root against your team next year. But see, you go, people were like having a massive line dance. The media will say that was organized rioting.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the us water protectors praying was
like they didn't even talk about the day when the Eagles came back and landed today. Fans was right down there at the airport at the gate. Love seeing that silver Lombardi trophy.
Well, look, congratulations to your team. You know, all power to the team. What'd you think about the commercial, Cheryl? Or were you like too much?
A lot of the commercial, I hate that Dodge Ram commercial.
Me too.
Using MLK, and that damn Dexter, he's the CEO of something with the Martin Luther King. He gave the okay, and he was always in arguments with his other siblings about profiting off of their father.
There were a couple.
I don't think they have any say so.
There were a couple of those commercials where they were talking like in like speeches, and it was like, help one another, blah blah blah, you know, Prudential Mutual or whatever. I'm like, what the fuck? No, you know, they got all speechifying, and then they went into like, you know, car insurance or life insurance or whatever. So
and retirement. I'm like, who would do a retirement commercial? Who has money to put aside for retirement?
Stevie's got plenty of money for Tide detergent.
and Scientology classes.
And Michael Tracy tweeted about, why I just saw a Ray and Thon commercial, and he said another military industrial complex commercial. I guess it's the one that because I saw a couple of commercials with robots. I'm like, here we go.
No, that was Sprint. Sprinted, and if you check the CEO of Sprint, he's really talking about, you know, virtual reality and getting people plugged into technology and the, you know, the virtual or the new technological revolution and all of that. And we've had that conversation, but we're starting to see a push in advertising towards AI.
Yeah. Because I can't stand those self-checkout cannons at the stores.
Oh, I hate that crap. I never go.
Because they tell you to get a cashier. It's an error. I'm like, fuck this. I'd rather go to the register to a person.
Yeah, what's the point of going to a self-checkout if you have to get a cashier anyway?
And then if you move something just even a centimeter, oh my God, it interrupts the whole goddamn purpose.
Exactly.
It's like, because at first I thought it's so cool, but it's not.
It's cool if it saves you time and you can get in and out of there quicker. But if it doesn't, it defeats the fucking purpose. Yeah.
Immediately, I went the labor route and I said, okay, they're trying to take away jobs. There ain't no damn way I'm going to use that. You know, as a labor guy, I'm like,
no way. Exactly. You got to think of it from the job's perspective anymore. We're workers, guys. We're not in class.
Not only that, now the
reason I came back in, and thank you guys for letting me talk here. I just wanted to.
Who said we're going to do that?
Cut me off. You were going to boot me out.
Sorry.
Hey, I tweeted around today. I thought I'd contacted most of your usual suspects.
Bangarang rebel.
All right.
No, I wanted to come back on and talk to Cheryl because I was just so pleased that Philly won last night, and I hung in there that entire friggin' Super Bowl to see Philly win, and they actually won. I don't know. I got the impression the last couple of days or so when we've been talking about this Super Bowl thing, a lot of you guys aren't really into it, and I can definitely see why. There's a lot of stuff about major sports that's just be above and beyond where it should be these days. The paychecks, the amount of money, all that stuff. But on the other hand, if you look at it as just a pure sport, and I'm looking at Philly, and I'm really respecting the hell out of that team. That was a brand new coach this year. If I'm pretty sure that was a brand new coach. He put that together on that team.
Also,
pretty much a bunch of no names. The guy that really got him there got injured, but second-year quarterback.
It was a
so if you guys appreciate football or sports, the amount of time that a professional athlete puts into his craft, the amount of time and effort for them to put that together in Philly this year is pretty freaking amazing.
But they have tech move, but they have safe. One of the players, one of the running backs, had just got baptized before the game started.
Baptized? He was crying? He was
yes.
crying? Yeah. Okay.
Baptized in what?
Christian.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Christian.
And they was baptized in the pool down there. I guess where the hotel they were staying at. But he was baptized before the Super Bowl for the game.
That's kind of the anti-side of that, because I look at the commercialness and the amount of money and all of that now that goes into professional sports. And I'm just strictly talking now about the team and the effort and all of that. I'm not talking about any of the hype, any of the crap. It kind of saved my season for me. And I don't know, you guys probably didn't see Grumbine's video. Steve Grumbine, the economist guy that talks about modern monetary theory at all. But
I saw it yesterday.
Yeah, he had a rant on about football and the fact that football has basically been ruined for him. And I feel pretty much the exact same way as Grumbine. If you guys happen to see that video, I mean, if you're interested, I can, send you a link or whatever. It was really well said. It was heartfelt. There's a lot of stuff that's wrong about that. But like I say,
what did it for
saved
him?
that season for me.
What did it for him?
Yeah. He had to take a breather, and he was going to go watch football.
Right. It was, he understood.
Get away from politics and all.
Right. And that was good, that part of it. But I think what did him in with football is the predominance of the money. The fact that there is this complete tie-in and connection with the military-industrial complex.
For me,
go ahead, Dave.
Honestly, for me, it was Sandusky. That's what killed it for me back in 2011, and then all the violence, and you got Ray Rice, and I mean, it just snowballed, and this whole thing about
not just Ray Rice. What's this guy? He just got inducted to the Hall of Fame.
Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis.
Can you remind me what that fight was about? Because I can't remember.
What, Ray Lewis?
The Sandusky. What was that all
Sandusky.
Sandusky was a child molester.
He was a pedo.
Right. But guys, we're talking about a couple of different things here. When you bring in Sandusky, and as far as I know, the guy never coached in the professional league. He was a college coach at Penn State. We're talking about Penn State. We're talking about college football, and that whole college football, that's a whole other can of worms and topic, because it's backed up by money and big money as well. It's even worse because the players don't get paid, and yet they're expected to perform, and they do. They basically are looking for the handout later. So it's like they're kind of like slave labor. But Dave, it's not the same thing as.
I disagree with this.
In what way?
In this way. The fact that the professional players defended Sandusky and defended Paterno.
Now, I'd have to go back and look at that because I didn't really focus on that.
Yeah, professional players did support him.
Oh, yeah,
I remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll back off that a little bit, but to me, on the and I'm apples and oranges on this because I'm making those distinctions because I've followed football for I was 13 years old, so I've been following it since 1970, basically.
Right.
Well, you can see why they
pretty well. The other side of it, though, is if that is indeed what happened, that definitely throws a lot of shade on that whole thing, and you're absolutely right. To me,
yeah, well, Penn State. That's why up there they known as Happy Valley. the people up there were in a bubble, and I really believe Paterno knew about it. I really believe. Look,
I agree. Yeah, I think so
he
too.
died right after the incident, after he retired. I said that's going to kill him.
I think so too.
Well, Tech, it kind of bleeds. I'm sorry, Chad. I'll let you go real quick. I gotta get this point in. For a very long time, there have been cover-ups with professional athletes too. You go all the way back to Lance Rensel, who was flashing little girls, like really young girls, and Raphael Septien, who was the field goal kicker for the Dallas Cowboys, who molested I believe it was his very young nephew, and they just kind of gently pushed him out of the league. To me, college is kind of an incubator, and it continues on in the NFL.
Dave, I'm not questioning any of that. And if there's pedophilia, especially pedophilia involved, Chad, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I understand what you're saying about the whole money, how money, that's all the industries, is you realize how much the big money are involved in it. It can, I understand it where it ruins it for you because it's not the football, it's not this product, it's not even the name or whatever that's the bad, it's how they run it, it's the people that actually run it. And it runs it because you know that even if it's something that you like there's you want to stop the bad part of it, but the money part.
Steve Grumbine is absolutely right. There is an obscene amount of money in the National Football League, just an obscene amount. So that I completely agree with Steve about.
And just to dovetail on that, you guys realize they don't pay any taxes.
All right.
They have taxes.
No.
Yeah.
And no, when they want to build stadiums in your city, they don't pay for it. The owners.
And
that started to change a little bit. Some of these cities have started to smarten up a little bit, but when you're paying, the public is floating bonds, or it's you're paying twice because you're paying for tickets as well as you're actually paying for the stadium, and they usually get sweetheart deals, that kind of thing. There's millions and millions of dollars that could be used somewhere else, probably to feed people, to give people better mental health, those kinds of things. Those are the kind of problems that we've run into here with big sports, and in particularly, the flagship of all the big sports, because a lot of this stuff happens in all the major sports, is the NFL.
Don't forget that Justin Timberlake had his little dinner thing, hosted a dinner, 1,000 plate, whatever it was, for Hillary Clinton back in the thing. And it just so happened they gave him the Super Bowl this year. So that's why
he didn't deserve it, what he did to Janet Jackson.
No, he didn't deserve it anyways. He's whack. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, he's half-assed to me. Like that's not like pushing music. It's not doing anything. It's just
I'm pissed off about what he did against Prince's state, because Prince is very private about his music and it's being used.
Oh, he's getting roasted online. He's getting roasted.
And of course,
I know.
Of course, you guys have to know what I felt. I just I
warned you.
I am burning. Does he have a Twitter account?
Yeah, he does. He's getting blown up on it.
I don't know if he has it anymore.
Because he talked to Sheila E. the night before, and she said that she let the fans know. She said, I talked to him the night before, and he said he's not going to do the Prince hologram at the Super Bowl out of respect for the estate and for the family and stuff.
And then he did it.
And
no, it wasn't a hologram. It technically, he did the same thing as a hologram. It was a projection.
That shit looked horrible.
And it looked so fucking horrible. And his family wanted to make sure that did not happen. And it's like, oh.
And then at the end, that kind of like devil shadow image, if you saw it, Debbie was singing and made kind of a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
Because
I was like, what is that at the end? I'm like, that looks kind of fucking creepy. That ain't Prince.
Yeah. What'd y'all think about Pink? My wife was
I don't think she should have sung.
She was like chewing gum. My wife was like, get that gum out of your mouth.
She took the gum out of her mouth, but when she went that note where you have to hit that high note,
yeah,
she couldn't do it.
No.
That messed it up because she was doing fine.
I didn't hear it.
Choked
I
on her
didn't hear
gum,
it.
Cheryl.
Huh?
It hit the high note. She choked on her gum.
Her too. She's another one that's like.
Well, you got to remember she was sick.
They play super.
Yeah, she was sick and she knew it, and she said she still was going to perform. She should have let somebody else do that.
Sorry, I interrupt you, Chad.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like she's like that type of the girl that's all I'm supposed to be a voice activist kind of thing, but they get lost on some other shit rather than what's really important. You know what I mean? It's more like an industry.
Well, also she's from our area, so she's from Doylestown, so.
Okay.
So she wanted to represent.
That's a good thing. That's a good. Billy got represented very well.
Because normally Pink hits the notes. I mean, she is just like on it. I sing a lot of Pink songs. And
she was good on that at first, Rebel, but when she got to that high note, I'm like, oh my God.
Well, I'm not going to fault her for that one. She has the flu. I mean, she had a fever and everything.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it now. I didn't see it.
I mean, I'm gonna have.
I'm like,
for her.
Compared her to Whitney, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it.
Oh, you can't compare her to Whitney.
You can't. It's not fair to compare. That is not what you do in the world of art. When
you do that national anthem, you have to be on point. Seriously, you do.
She thought she could be. She was sick. I have empathy for her. At least she got up there. She had the balls enough to not whisk out and cancel.
There was a guy who made a Twitter comment, and it actually hit the news. They made a Twitter comment about Pink sucks. I've always said it, and Pink responded, "Well, at least I sucked while getting up during the Super Bowl and singing the national anthem. You sucked while sitting on your dirty couch." I was like, Jesus Christ.
Jeez.
And then she brought her germs there.
Yeah. I didn't know she was sick. She was beating herself up right after the performance. You could see it. When her voice cracked. She is a perfectionist with her craft.
Is.
Yeah, I know she could sing her butt off. But when she said she had the flu, I was like, oh, I don't think she should do this.
Well, I give her props for not lip syncing. And it's very rare.
Yeah, that's true too.
Just appreciate what she was. I'm not going to be critical of one little note. I mean, she showed up, she dressed up, she showed up, she did it, and
and we're sitting here acknowledging the fact. I could never. Well, I was thinking that range anyway, but I could never hit that note. For her to even get close to that note, that's an amazing note. So I would just say we got to cut the woman some slack.
Mm-hmm.
And even Whitney, she didn't hit that note. She went under the note, which is what she had to do.
So it would be a situation though for Pink as a singer. And guys, I mean, I've sang just a way tiny bit. If Chad was still sitting here, he could probably tell us what he would do as well. But in real time, as you're singing that, and if you've got any kind of doubt that if you're going to not hit the note, or you're going to
me personally singing,
You could have
if
just.
I knew, I wouldn't do it because I'm like, I want to be
Okay,
on
it's not.
point.
Shirley, you got to know in that industry, it's not you that you have to think about. They paid her. They had her on a contract. And unless you're dying, you don't ever, all the fans clapped. They came to see her because they love her. I mean, well, they came to see the game, but her fans that were in the crowd love her and accept her the way she is and knew she was sick and was just glad that she sang.
Well, honestly, I think our anthem needs to be changed. It should be changed to America.
Or change the anthem. I mean, there's different things that could be done. I was just thinking of it from a technical standpoint. I mean, she could have changed that note just a little bit, or like you said, if Whitney didn't hit that note and he had something underneath it, if it was a harmonic that was underneath that note and it sounded great, what the hell?
No, Whitney Houston didn't use nothing for her voice. She came from the church, buddy.
No, Cheryl, I'm not questioning that, and I know where she came.
Oh.
I was a big Whitney Houston fan, except when she's, except at the time before or after or whenever it was with Bobby or whoever it was that start shoving that stuff up her nose.
No, she was doing it before she met him.
And I don't know about that. I don't know about any of that. I can't even speak to that.
Yeah, I watched the documentary. She was wild. I always heard that. She was wild. It's a shame. And her brother even admitted that he started her on it.
Anyway.
My 2 cents is that you Snoop Dogg to do your national anthem.
Mm-hmm.
Snoop. You'll have some cannabis themed national anthem for America.
What?
I think I heard what he said, but I wasn't sure if he was breaking it.
Hang on. I think my mic's not working properly. Hang on.
I hear you now, Ryan.
You do?
It almost came out like he was saying Snoop Dogg was going to sing that.
Yeah. Get Snoop Dogg to do your national anthem.
Oh, God.
No.
Yeah.
He can.
Did y'all see that one where he opened for like some kind of hockey game?
Oh, Jesus.
No.
Oh, it was so great. It was like an ocean of like these Canadian white people, and he just like opens it up with what's the name of that song? I'll have to look it up. I'll put the link in the chat. Oh, it was so great. It was so great. He was rocking out too.
Snoop, because he's just this bigger than life Hollywood persona now. But he started as a rapper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Started as a drug dealer.
He did.
On the street.
Right.
NWA, they did drugs, sold drugs before they got their big record deal. They struggled.
So was he in NWA? Was my point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And he's a shill for Hillary.
He's a shill for a lot of things. Yeah.
You just don't want a national anthem like Australia's got. You want at least your national anthem has meaning behind it. Ours is
what? War? We're anti-war here, dude. We want it.
Yeah.
But you've got to point, Rebel. You got to point out the accurate history, and he's right about the history of the national.
Still, I just can't let those words come out of my mouth because it's like it's saying how great we are because we. It's like ugh.
It's an acknowledgement of what our history is. You don't necessarily have to agree with it, but that is the history of that song.
I know that, but that doesn't mean we have to glorify it and put our hand over our damn chest while we sing a war song.
What are y'all talking about? The Star Spangled Banner?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hate that song.
Yeah, we need to change it because the original lyrics are horrible.
The second verse is all about slavery.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah, we just got to rewrite it.
You
Just
just
come
got
up with a brand new one.
The amount of
I don't even want to rewrite it. I'd rather have America, sweet America.
But then I don't want God involved.
But isn't it, guys? Isn't America? Isn't that song "America the Beautiful"?
Yeah.
Do you find America beautiful anymore?
No, I just
Hell
we
no.
can't pick apart any of this stuff, right?
I'll tell you what. If we want politics out of sports, then let's just cut.
I would like the
national
military
anthem.
industrial complex out
Wait,
of sports.
Shirley, I was trying to say something. But take the national anthem out, take the flag out, do whatever. Just take complete no politics whatsoever.
We'd have to turning that on its head though, because it's so corporatized. And who do you have as the owner of these teams? It's a bunch of old rich white guys. You'd have to completely remake the entire team. Each team, you know, if they can't even come to some kind of an agreement about the Washington Redskins or the Cleveland Indians, just to get them to change their logos or their mascots, we're asking them to completely overturn and turn the NFL into non-corporate. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, short of tearing that bad boy just completely apart.
I think my jaw would drop and never come back up if that ever happened.
Well, the thing that I didn't, and I don't mean to talk so much about sports tonight because I normally don't, but
it's okay.
But I wanted to acknowledge Cheryl on that. But
well, we beat Trump supporters yesterday.
Yeah. I think probably tomorrow maybe we won't talk Super Bowl so much.
Actually,
the thing that's really frustrating for me that really, because you were talking about Grumbine, the thing that's really frustrated me about the NFL in the last 10 to 15 years has been all the stuff that's come out about the concussions and these guys with long-term brain damage, and these guys that have gone completely nuts, like the ex-center from the Pittsburgh Steelers, that guy that died on the street. He was suffering from, and then of course that was that Will Smith movie. If you guys have ever seen that Will Smith movie,
Concussion.
Yeah, thank you.
That was Mike Webster you're talking about, right?
Yeah, exactly. Mike Webster.
I've heard that's a good movie and I should see it. Is that true?
I enjoyed that movie. Of course, you know, that's, to me, it was like, it was an eye-opener for me because that was something that I completely idolized when I was a kid growing up. And it turns you on your head when you realize you can't believe in your politics, you can't believe in your sports, you know. Everything is tipsy-topsy. We don't have any news. I mean, it's crazy.
I reckon
And how about Junior Seau?
What's that show?
Junior Seau.
Junior Seau.
Seau.
And that was what they made it look like it was a suicide, or wasn't it?
Well, he supposedly committed suicide, but my husband was shot. He said, "No, not him. He was a great guy." And they found out he had that brain disease from them concussions.
Yeah, along with Mike Webster and a whole bunch of other ones.
I reckon O.J. Simpson suffers from that too.
Yeah, I think so too.
And the guy that killed his girlfriend or wife or whatever, and then killed himself in prison.
Aaron Hernandez.
That's it.
How did he do that?
He hung himself.
He hung himself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was really messed up though. He had that concussion thing, and yeah.
But you gotta think he had to have them injuries from high school, college.
Yeah.
There was a football player in West Babylon, or he came from my area, and he played for the Chiefs, and he killed his girlfriend and killed himself in the Arrowhead parking lot. I can't remember.
Is that the one he had a baby? They had a baby.
They had a baby, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
Off the top of my head. But I want, before anybody else makes any point, just to go back to the money in politics and all of that. Since Robert Kraft owned the New England Patriots, the New England Patriots and Raytheon have had a partnership and have the Science of Sports Fair every single year. So obviously there is a partnership between Kraft and Raytheon. I didn't catch the Raytheon commercial, but there you go. There's yet another example of
Guess who?
Of what concussions can do to you.
Mr. PTSD himself.
Right here.
I love that helmet. I love that helmet.
And that's why we beat the Trump supporters, because he is a true Trump supporter. Him and Tom Brady.
Actually, he's listed on Wikipedia as a Democrat.
Are you serious?
No, I'm completely serious.
Guys,
Well,
think about it.
Well, Trump used to be a Democrat, so.
Think about it, guys. The Republican, the Democratic Party, Republican. The Democratic Party is Republican.
Republican.
Yep.
They're Demo-Publican.
They're Republican.
Republic,
right? Yeah.
Okay, real quick, I want to tell you guys something real quick. This is the most damaging part. I played rugby with some big boys, Tongans, Samoans, Fijians, some Maori guys from Australia and from New Zealand. We used to play at Kapilani Park all the time. And we didn't have helmets.
Yep.
You tackle from the shoulder down and from the knee up. Okay, but when you put this thing on, this is a weapon.
Yep.
This is a fucking missile. And this can really, thankfully, and it's probably a good reason why I only played 3 years of football. I only played 3. Okay, but I'm not that. I'm pretty fucked up, but I'm not that fucked up.
Way fucked up.
There are guys like Junior Seau who, for his entire life from Pop Warner, played from Pop Warner all the way till he was 30-something years old.
Yeah.
I mean that the amount of. I mean, you can almost put a hole in a car with this thing.
That's
and
it.
This
I'm
is made
gonna
out of iron. This really hurts your fingers, by the way.
Pop Warner is 8 years old, guys.
That's crazy. So not to get off of the politics, but this is the political reason why. The reason why America loves football is they like this. They like to hear that sound.
Yep.
They like to hear that crashing of these helmets that collide together and create that boom. But that's that
I don't
point.
like it.
No, it's.
And guys, you realize that helmet is sitting on top of a 300-pound man.
That's it. I'm going out to get me a helmet.
300 pounds.
No,
and they're probably about 6 foot something.
They're 6. They got linemen. They have linemen now that can run like a 4.5 and 4.6 40. And they're 330, 340 pounds.
Got it. Got it.
And they're coming at you at full speed. And I'm just telling you, and you're a linebacker because I played linebacker. When those guys hit you, you feel it. It's like a fucking car running into you.
No doubt.
Well, I was going to ask because you saw anybody who actually watched the game saw the Patriots player get injured by a helmet to helmet, and that scared the hell out of me because when you see somebody's head move like that, I was just wondering with the amount of weight that and he wasn't that far away, the guy who hit him, with the his weight and the force that hit him and the angle that hit him. I'm just curious to know, how they could calculate how much damage that they could do.
Snork.
Just
Man, he didn't see that coming. I
No,
thought
he
that
didn't.
was cooked.
I was just gonna say that the guy that got hit didn't see it coming. There was no way that he could set or anything. He just
No.
got hit, and it was just.
If they can soften this, and they have new helmets now with areas that they're called mini crumple zones, where they compress a little bit, but not enough to create, to keep that force from coming. So Snork, you still want to have the sound, you still want to have the head, and you're going to have incidental contact. You're going to have some guy, because I see defensive backs and linebackers run into each other all the time. Just accidentally, they're trying to tackle some guy, and the guy ducks, and then boom, they're hitting each other. So they're going to have incidental contact, like friendly fire. That happens. But what could, I don't see how we could fix that. What do you think? Is there something out there like a what did you say the other day? You said there was some composite.
There's like a UPS truck sound that beep, beep, beep. Don't come close. Beep, beep.
Snork, what was that plastic you were talking about? Snork.
Snork's focused, man. He's
Snork.
Everybody wave your arms.
Snork is only chatting tonight. He's not with us.
Oh, somebody in the chat, get him over here. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's frozen. It looks like his.
Oh, it is, huh?
He might be frozen. There we go.
Okay.
Let it go. Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go. He did mention there was some composite. We had this conversation a few months ago that they're starting to use, but it really it's like a crumpling zone effect. I don't want to get rid of football. I like football, but they really need to get rid of the head-to-head or find a way to soften up these helmets. I think that's the biggest issue.
My only other question would again be for maybe, I don't know, Dave or Cheryl. Did you guys hear who was the MVP?
No. I would assume Brady, but
No, Nick Foles was.
Oh, was he?
Nick Foles? Because it's usually going to be the winners.
Yeah, it should have been the offensive line.
The offensive line played amazing.
Yeah.
But I was thinking it might have been, Cheryl, I was thinking it might have been Aguilar. Because that guy played amazing. The little receiver.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was Nick Foles because he really stepped up because I didn't think he could do it. Because when he was with the Eagles originally, he was okay, but he really stepped up.
Totally.
And he didn't come back here today. He was in Florida.
He was all over, and his passing was amazing.
Do you think he's going to be the starter next year? Or do you think
No, I think somebody's going to grab him.
No, he won't be back, Dave. Come on. They've got the other guy.
Grab him by
We got Carson Wentz.
Wentz is their guy.
Wentz helped get us there.
It was just a
at
fluke.
first.
It was just a fluke that Volk was even there. Yeah.
Well, he's actually going to be a folk hero in New England or in Philly. He's probably never going to have to buy a drink ever again or a hamburger.
Oh, I would think.
Or a Philly steak sandwich.
Exactly.
So this is what's interesting. This is what is very interesting about quarterbacks. And there's a guy named Tua Tagovailoa. He filled in for Alabama. Well, he was sent in to win the national championship. And he's a true freshman from Hawaii, coached by the guys that coached me in high school. Chicky Lee. So what's interesting is he came in, this kid, a phenom, and he's only like 5'11 and a half, 6 foot maybe. And he won a football game on that level at D1 Division 1, which is pretty cool. But my point, what I'm getting to, is you need accurate passing, and I don't want to get all into football, but these quarterbacks in every sport, in the sports are getting so fine tuned. Science is there, the technology is there. They just had a thing about science technology that it's not really the physical athlete. The tracks are getting faster. Their shoes are making them quicker. The gear that they're wearing is helping them. When I wore football pads, they weigh. I think the total weight was like 30 pounds or something. Now they're like,
if you go back
8
and
pounds.
look at some of those, for whatever reason, if you look at the way the uniforms are now, and the pads and what they used to look like, I've seen some of the old Seahawks footage. It's crazy. It's crazy. Stuff has gotten so sophisticated now.
The technology, the speed, and the athletes are actually getting a little faster and quicker too, but it's mainly just the technology around it, the shoes, the tracks, the fields. It's making it quicker, it's making it faster. Even in NASCAR. The tires, the engines.
Can I go back to?
And you're talking about confidence, right? You're talking about confidence with this guy, Nick Folk, the Philly quarterback.
Ryan's next, by the way.
That kid, last night in that Super Bowl, even the commentators, and these are commentators like that one commentator, he's seen every Super Bowl. That guy is older than Methuselah. He's seen every Super Bowl. And he was saying the confidence that the Philly quarterback showed. The poise, the confidence, the way that he was throwing that ball was amazing.
He was having fun. That's the main thing.
And he was having a good time. Yeah. I think he was having a good time. Absolutely. Playing that well. That offensive line. Oh my God.
They were
30 seconds left, Tech.
Yeah.
30 seconds to what? Cut me off?
Well, yes, now it's Ryan's turn. You just messed up on your 30 by pitching.
We had this.
On what? On my question? Go ahead, Ryan. Sorry.
We had the same problem in Australian rules football with the head clashing and the concussion and stuff like that. And they changed the rules so it was the defensive player. The defensive player was the one who had to take the care not to cause any sort of injury, concussion, or anything like that. So instead of, like, I guess in American football, it would be in the lines of saying that you just don't charge at the player and just take him out. You know what I mean? There needs to be a tackling standard where you don't tackle above the head, above the shoulders and stuff like that, and around the neck. That's how they got rid of that, the concussion side of AFL football. And AFL football don't wear any padding or helmets or anything like that. So they were just getting hip and shouldered, like shoulders in the head and stuff like that, and getting knocked out and concussed. But they wiped it out, and it made it that the defensive player has to take care, and if they don't, they can be suspended.
They put it on the defensive player totally and absolutely.
Yeah.
And
called chemistry, Rebel.
in U.S. football, it gets a little over the top with the roughing the passer, with the late hits, because there was a couple of times I've seen players like do this and try to get out of the way, and the quarterback will run into him, and it'll be
do that again, Dave.
Yeah.
You do it so cute and dainty.
It was like, I think it was who was it? It was like the Giants in Tennessee. It was a game a few years ago where a defensive player, they were afraid to hit the guy because there had been a couple of really serious injuries and they were really going over the top. But helmet to helmets, with the Cooks injury, they need to revamp that rule, I think. Helmet to helmet should not happen.
It's tough, though, Ryan, because you get a situation where you're asking the defensive player not to charge, the offensive player, makes the defense tentative. It makes them
No,
slow
no, no.
down.
No. What I'm saying is you don't allow the defensive player to attack the head. If they're going to attack the player, then they attack the body, not the head.
Right, and
So-
there are rules. The rules are already there. It's sometimes shit happens. Those rules are already there.
But the reason shit happens is there's no consequence to the shit happens. That's my point. There needs to be consequences to it to ensure, because if you're just going to say, "Oh, shit happens, players get hit, da da da," it's just nothing's going to happen. You got to have a proactive idea put in place to say, "Hey, look, we understand this is happening. How do we change it?" It's obviously head on head clashes, so then we remove that. And
Right.
we'll put an onus on the defense, because it's not the offense who's trying to grab the defense. It's always the defense trying to grab the offense.
It's the nature of the game.
Yeah, but you've got to change the game, otherwise your game will become obsolete, because people will be getting injured. And
I think from the standpoint.
No, he's right. He's got a good point.
No. I
Good.
like it. I like it. I'm not really disagreeing with it.
Yeah.
It's just from the standpoint of where James was at with it, talking about technology, talking about a helmet and whatnot that would give away, that might give a little bit and protect both entities. The rules and whatnot, I don't know, late hits, that kind of thing. There's fines involved. There's different things. Go ahead, Dave.
A couple of things. To Ryan's point, we were coming to a critical point in football as far as the rules go, because you had players retiring before the age of 30. You had players like marquee players retiring really, really early at like 25, 26, 27 years old. Now, ironically enough, one of the biggest violators of rules is James Harrison. And if you remember him, for a long time, he would get up and like stomp people in the ribs and, do some really nasty crap. And he's been, fines, whatever. But
you saw him play last night, Dave. He was playing on the end of that New England line.
He was, and if you notice, I didn't see any late hit whatsoever. So the way you curtail that crap is you suspend them. Fines do nothing.
Yeah.
You take them out of the game. You take them out of the freaking game. Pac-Man Jones, Cortland Finnegan, all these dirtbags. You take them out of the game. You take their revenue away. That's how you do it.
it's not just the revenue. I mean, if you take I don't know the positions of NFL players like teams or that. I mean, it was my national sport, but I mean, if you take out a defensive lineman because he's done something wrong, like the head defensive lineman, then there's a position that they really need to fill, and players are less likely to. And that's how the AFL, the Australian Football League, have done their system. Is players will get suspended for games and not get paid. There's been players that have been suspended for 4 games.
It's not just about the pay either. It's about their legacy. It's about their legacy and their numbers and all of that.
Exactly.
Right.
And then the way that the AFL work it is if you've been suspended during the season, you can't actually be in the running for the MVP.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the way that we well, no, Hall of Fame's a little bit different, but like we call it the best and fairest, and the best and fairest don't get suspended. So for doing, you know what I mean? And I think if there was punishments like that in within the NFL, then it might clean it up a bit. I know that's just my thoughts looking in.
That's a lightsaber.
Yeah, Darth Vader's lightsaber. Because I'm a dark side. I'll go get some batteries.
Why does it vibrate?
It goes. It goes. And then when you swing it around, it makes noises. And then when you crash it like that, it goes. Go get some batteries.
Oh, that would be fun and kinky.
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
Oh God. Oh man. Oh God. I'm sorry.
You're watching Late Night with Rebel.
I know, right? She needs to have a cooking show and then like a toy show.
Oh, I could do that.
Take a little bit of salt. Add a little salt. Add a little more salt.
I'm gonna check out. Good night.
Good night, Tech.
Good night, Tech.
Tech, later, man.
But Tech, you had 15 more seconds.
I know. You could...
I want to give my time to the man from Tennessee.
That is a consistent 7-yard carry.
Hey, have you guys ever watched this? The League Legends Football League? You ever heard of that?
No.
I'm going to show you.
What's lingerie football?
No, you might like this, Dave.
All right.
Okay, just watch it. I'm going to put it on in a second here. Boop, 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 boop.
This is going to be hard to say. They're down 14-0. Coming back to the XFL.
Yeah, you might like this.
Looks like a better team than we've seen. They really look like they've got together. That was
a
solid rush right there.
That's a lingerie.
That's right. They had that here in Australia.
Yeah, there's a girl that plays from Australia. She's awesome. I watched this. These chicks are good. I'm not kidding. Now watch how they play. They're not shitty. Look at that four-step drop. Look at that huge pass intercepted, though.
And that is intercepted. The center fielder, Allie Alberts.
Now look, of course they're. Okay, I better take that out before we get too excited. But wait, I don't think I have it in the
like that, but the receiver has to go up
I'm going to get a copyright strike.
Yeah, just maybe.
Hope does not go after the football. It's the worst. The receiver.
But look at that athleticism, though. I'm not kidding.
So they don't intercept.
That was not bad.
Oh, they fit as.
You know, and they're serious. And these girls are not kidding around. They're not kidding around.
Where's the Me Too? Where's the Me Too people about that? Where are they at? Like where they at about Kim Kardashian?
But here's the thing: they've had this league for several years now, and I watch these games, and these girls are pretty damn good. But here's the thing: they cannot hit above the shoulder or below the knees. And I'm really getting concerned about Ryan's.
They literally do like wrestling takedowns. They like grab them by the midsection and like pull them down.
Yeah, it's very rugby-ish. It's very rugby-ish. That's why a lot of rugby girls in Australia and New Zealand play in this league, and they get recruited over here. You will, if you talk to her, I forgot her name, but she's gorgeous at the same time, but she's a great quarterback. She plays for Chicago. But she's a super good athlete. But the thing is they're not killing each other. They're hitting really hard.
Like this again in
but there's not a bunch of like serious concussions and stuff.
Waits for me to get back from
and they've got breasts to contend with as well. So it's not, and I'm being serious because
contend with.
Well, they do. They contend with breasts. I mean, they've got as far as I know, getting hitting a boob hurts.
As in, there's like a competition between the breasts.
Does it hurt? I don't know. I have man boobs, but they don't get hurt when I get punched in the man boob. But you know what I mean?
I'm just gonna sit back and let you guys talk. This is
how often do you get punched?
Maybe I shouldn't have put that on.
It's a fetish.
Maybe that was a bad idea.
Fetish,
but what I'm saying, but the helmets, you guys, the helmets that they wear. They have cushions. They're the same helmets that hockey players use.
Yeah,
they kind of look like those soft bike helmets.
Yeah, and they have a lot of crumple and impact zones, and
We're just not as stupid
Yeah.
enough to let our brains get all fucked up.
Well, a concussion is when your brain leaves one side, hits the inner side of your skull.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a concussion is, because it bruises it. It's like somebody coming up and punching your brain.
Right.
It's not good. So, but these helmets, the way their league is, they have not very many, and they play on turf too, and they play in the small hockey size indoor arenas. But they're good athletes. But the thing is it's these helmets, guys. These helmets are fucking weapons. And as soon as we can do something with the helmet to still have that same effect, but absorb more of the force, then I think we could definitely do something about, people like Seau and fucking OJ and, all this shit that happens when these people get injured like this. But listen, hey, I'm going to get off pretty soon, like in minutes, like seconds here, so I'm sorry. Dave, are you going to have a thing on, or do you know?
I could do one if you guys want to do it.
Why not?
Everybody raise your hand.
I'm going to get on.
Well, I'm raising mine. You can't see me.
I solemnly swear.
I'm ready to get really ornery, though.
Yeah, I see that, Amanda.
Huh?
Amanda's getting ready to get on late night television. Okay.
I was looking on YouTube trying to see if I could actually see the Jack Tatum Daryl Stingley hit. And I think what happened with him is that he actually picked him up in the air and like dropped him on his neck.
Yeah.
From what I remember.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't necessarily
have to be the helmet.
Yeah.
It's a brutal sport. When I was a kid, they told, cut the guy in half, decapitate him. This is the kind of language I used to hear.
Right.
Wow. They still say this. They still say this to this day. It's
Troy Polamalu. I always go back to him.
Oh my God. And he's such a wonderful Mormon. Right?
Right.
But that guy in the field is he's a headhunter. Literally. I've seen him do, if you watch the highlights of hard hits by Troy Polamalu for Pittsburgh Steelers, you would hate to be that other person. He's nuts. Anyway, he's like Maui flying around. It was crazy. Okay. All right, you guys. Aloha. Thank you all for coming on tonight.
Aloha.
Okay. Aloha. Mahalo nui aloha to everybody.
Good night, little baby.
Good night, little baby girl. What's her name? Kai again? Kylie? What?
Ava.
Sorry.
Ava.
Jolene.
Ava Jolene, yeah.
Ava. Good night, Ava.
Good night, Ava. For it's time to go.
Good night, sweetheart. Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Aloha, guys.
Good night.
Oh, my eyes. Something just flew my eye. Thanks, Deb.
You're welcome. I don't know what I did.
We're all laughing at him.
Okay, goodbye. Okay. So that's Mana Talk. People coming on. These are regulars. They come on all the time. We had a troll, I guess, inside of the... God, man, my eye something just flew in there, just out of nowhere. I just need to cry more. Cry. Blink, 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 blink. You should blink more. Okay, anyway. Thank you all for coming on tonight. We talked about some good stuff. People were talking about the Super Bowl. I do think the offensive line should have got the MVP award because they did a phenomenal job to protect these guys are high-level caliber quarterbacks. If they have time to pass, if they're not rushed, if they have just enough time and space and that they need to get that ball where it needs to go, thanks to the offensive line, they are going to have a good day. They're going to have a great day, especially if you're at that caliber. Quarterbacks are, I don't care what anybody says, it's not easy these days. Nor was it back then with what they had. I mean, in comparison, it was tough, man. But the gear needs to change. The helmet, something needs to happen with the helmet. It needs to be dramatic. or if you keep having concussions, you're going to have less kids playing. I don't think it's a good idea to have a child. I'm not big on Pop Warner. That's why I didn't have my kids play Pop Warner. I said in high school, if you guys want to play in high school or flag before you play high school, that's okay. But I didn't even play football until my junior year of high school. And all of a sudden I got a fucking walk-on scholarship to the University of Hawaii. Pissed it away. But anyway, I was pretty lucky. Plus I was, naturally talented and all this other shit. And I worked my ass off. It wasn't easy. I just didn't walk in and, become a redshirt. You had to earn that spot at UH. It's not easy, for them to at least keep you on that team. It was not an easy thing to do. It took some serious practice, weightlifting and training and stuff that, in my predicament at the time, I don't know if anybody knows this, but I was almost homeless at the time. I was not living anywhere. I was staying in dorm rooms. I was staying on balconies of hotels. I didn't really have much of a place to live when I was playing my first year in college. That might be a personal, but that's where I was. So it was very difficult for me. I didn't have the backing or the support that a lot of kids had. Maybe that could have been one of the reasons why I didn't make it, or one of the reasons why things went in the direction that they did. That's pretty much what I think. But anyway, it just shit happens, and you deal with it. But we all pull ourselves out of heavy situations and move forward. That's always been my goal, I was just thinking as I was driving my truck earlier. I think I'm like steady, but I keep going. I'm not flooring it. I haven't, caught up to a lot of people. I've been there, but I'm steady and I keep going like a truck. You just keep moving, you keep doing the work, and then, if someday shit gets good, then it gets good. If not, then you just keep going and you keep pushing and you keep pulling and you keep moving, but you do not stop. You don't stop. That's me. Anyway, thank you all for coming on tonight. A little too much there, sorry. But basically, in a nutshell, people come on and they talk about some pretty awesome stuff, and we covered some cool stuff tonight. I'm really getting sick of this Russiagate shit. And SNL, you should be ashamed of yourselves. George Carlin would be just puking in his grave about what you fucking people have become, especially the writers. Such pawns, it's so obvious. Anyway, aloha. Thank you all for coming tonight. I'm going to click this little button that says Aloha Nui. Mahalo. Bye-bye.